network of local, interrelated sort of a concentration of businesses, educational institutions, public sector participants, really all dedicated to improving the economic sustainability of the area. What we specifically do is how do we go, is not how, but we try to promote the development and the commercialization of renewable energy products, technologies, services, and processes. Processes would also be the educational side. You may say, so, okay, we've been in operation for about 1.5 years, and so what have we really accomplished in that 1.5 years? I can say that when we first started meeting, there were probably 3 or 4 of us that got around, and Jonathan Morrison, Steve Mendel, Peter Yost of Building Green, Russ Chapman from Leader Home Supply. And we started talking about what could networking really do. Well, since that time, we have 27 companies and institutions, as well as individuals who are members of SEON. Of those 27, that includes manufacturing. Building Green is certainly part of it. Architects, VSECU, Vermont State Employee Credit Union. Building supply companies, as well as a distribution company in Brooklyn, New York, on high performance products called 475. We have PV companies, biomass companies, construction, weatherization, and project management companies who are part of SEON, as well as the individuals who are smaller builders, architects, and others. It makes up about 27. What's exciting is probably down the road, the career centers will be joining us because we'll be looking to see how we can impact the curriculum for the building trades, as well as maybe if they get into HVAC and other areas, we could have a role in that as well. Over that, but over and above that, what's important, just overall membership, what's important is the ongoing work of what's known as the Building Science Guild. And these are architects, builders, energy consultants, who meet in a special format 3 hours a month. You can say, and there's certainly, and right here in the room, with Eli being here, there are green builders who are not members of SEON. Very well respected. But I can tell you that those who are members of SEON, these are the people who are totally dedicated to improving the energy performance and reducing the adverse effects of buildings. Adverse effects, mold, moisture, and all. These are the folks who are involved with energy efficiency in both the design and construction. So if you want to know who are green builders, they're there, over and above some who are already very well established by themselves. But folks, on this group, from the Building Science Guild, they continue to meet monthly. They have signed a code of conduct in terms of their professionalism. And in the meeting, what they do, it's a sign of their continuing learning. What they do is to discuss in their own work. They give feedback to one another. They also have a lot of fun. It's an incredibly jovial group. They want to learn about new processes. And now they're also being sought out by other companies in the area as a basis to give feedback on some new product development. So this Building Science group, Building Science Guild, is one of the outcomes. This group has also been asked now to contribute, we're just at the very early stages of this. This group has also been asked to give influence or to help direct the revision of the state competencies and the curriculum for building science. Not building science, the building trades program. And also, this group has played a significant role, maybe no more than others, in working with the Southeastern Vermont Economic Development Strategy to really help identify green building products and and services as an emerging opportunity for this area. So this group has been asked and has been contributing to that. I say this about the Building Science Guild. I say this because one of the outcomes of tonight is we want to see of all of you, or from within you, an interest in forming another subgroup. A subgroup that is based on biomass. To how can we improve the prosperity of this economic sector as well. So at the end of the program, that will be the other objective. Over and above learning of the opportunities, we want to look at the overall supply chain and how can we make this better. What's interesting, and I think as you look on that aspect of building another subgroup, what have we learned from the building science? And one of the things that we've learned is that the people who are in the Building Science Guild have come away and recognized the economic value of collaboration. They realize that they will benefit, and they are benefiting, based upon the feedback and the learning that they have as a group. They are competitors, but you wouldn't know it when you're in the room with them. So it's an incredibly active group. What we've also learned in terms of the discussions when they get there is that how much of that discussion is based on science. The whole science of construction, based on physics, how air, heat, and moisture are moving through the house. I'm saying that because that's a message we got to get to the young kids. They need to understand and be excited about the fact that there is science now that is part of this trade. It's integral to the trade, and if you can't embrace that, it's going to be very difficult for you to be part of whatever development occurs. The other thing I think that we learned as a result of the Building Science Guild is that when a region becomes known as having a knowledge base within an economic sector, it becomes attractive to other people, to other professionals, and to resources to begin looking at innovation, begin looking at product development, to begin looking and using the resources in research. I'm not saying this has happened in any grandiose style, but there are developments that have occurred within our group in which people are seeking now the input from the group of building trades, of the Building Science Guild. So that's what we've done over the past year and a half. What we're looking for in the future continues from an educational side, but we want to expand down to the renewables and renewables in the area of biomass thermal energy. For improvement, but I think what I would be most interested in knowing is of you in the audience, who would be willing to begin the conversation to move forward on a region-wide basis as another subgroup of Sustainable Energy Outreach Network. We have the Building Science Guild as one. We're looking to see who would have an interest in needing to move this whole sector, the biomass thermal energy sector, forward. Adam, all right. Because it's going to take a collective effort to move this forward. So,
explain a little bit better about what you're talking
well,
about.
some of it depends, some of it really winds up being how the group itself defines how it wants to move forward. That's what the Building Science Guild is. Right now, it's a matter of getting people together to identify what they would see as the key priority items. So that we move this forward.
Countywide basis.
Pardon me?
Countywide.
Right. We tend to think of it region-wide. but certainly with Brattleboro as a whole.
It's virtually the same thing. That's correct, right?
We do.
Oh, okay.
We think of it, we don't draw distinctions between New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Vermont. Yep.
I think it's going to be important to consider the wood sourcing as more and more boilers come into play, because the public acceptance of whole tree chipping in rural Vermont and its impact on infrastructures, particularly referring to road systems, impact to the peace and serenity of the neighborhood, I think you're going to find there will be a growing resistance to whole tree chipping activities. There's currently in Massachusetts, there's a lot of resistance to whole tree harvesting and a lot of interest in regulating whole tree harvesting. So I think you want to really carefully consider what potential impacts and try to be proactive and make sure that you don't overbuild the boilers. Berlin just went online in New Hampshire, and they're only able to procure 30% of the resource that facility needs. Now, this is, it's relatively new, and I'm sure things, the economic equation will work to correct that. But I think that just needs to be a piece of this, and it needs to include people who are intimately involved in the logging sector.
Now, are you volunteering?
I would be interested in having discussions at least by phone. I don't know how much, time I can give to this, but I do see this as being, timber harvesting is
Okay.
always been a relatively controversial activity,
Sure.
and it seems to be more and more of a controversial activity. And to interject the type of harvesting that produces the wood chips, I think you're going to need to think about this very carefully, long term.
So your name, I'm sorry.
Dave Kent.
Dave, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Charter member of SEON and a member of the Building Science Guild, and our group did not just start with a bang. We started because there were a number of people who were interested, and we don't have to, you folks who are interested in this whole issue, you don't have to commit yourself to, we meet once a month. The Building Science group meets once a month, and then we have ancillary conversations among ourselves. But we're not asking, God is not suggesting that you're going to join a group that's going to meet every other day or once a week. Obviously, none of us can do that. Meeting once a month and knocking ideas around, learning the science of all the different aspects of the industry can really energize. We find in our Building Science Guild that energizes us as individual business owners. So I'll leave that.
Anyone else? Okay, your name?
John Adler.
John, how do you spell your last name?
A-D-L-E-R.
Oh, okay. Chester, right? Anyone else? Oh.
I may not be spelling your name right.
But at least I'm getting them down. Close enough that I know. Anyone else? Bob, I have you down? Yep.
I'm interested in how you know quite what this is yet. So, yes.
So, it's a matter of getting everyone together at one point and begin identifying and distilling down how you want to approach this and how do we move this forward. And maybe it's marketing, maybe it's the public information, maybe it's other aspects, maybe it's financing. Part of it has to do with the group getting together and begin seeing what drives what. Okay, well, it's a start. It is 25:08. We thank you all for coming. It was great. Adam and Paul, thank you very much for coming on.